This is the 2015 Cannondale trigger. This is actually the blacking, which is about as expensive as they do. So you're talking about like 7 grand's worth of carbon fibre. Basically, if they could make it out of carbon, they did make it out of carbon. For this year, basically they haven't boshed a load of length on the top tube as a lot of manufacturers are doing. They've only increased the top tube length by a few millimetres. But what they have done is increase the front centre. They've done that by relaxing the head angle slightly, which then increases the distance between the BB, so around where your feet sit, and the front axle. And they reckon this makes the bike much more stable in sort of high speed terrain. It's a bit more up-to-date handling compared to the older version, the older 26-inch version. Obviously they're back to wheel size. Last year, 26-inch wheels. This year, you ain't nothing if you don't have 650B. So that's what they've gone for. We're actually big fans of 650B at What Mountain Bike. It's some of the best bits of 29, some of the best bits of 26. Again, you'll probably still be upset if you've stockpiled loads of 26-inch tyres, but hey, time moves on, get over it. Deal with it. We should probably cut that. So you've got Enve rims, full carbon frame, a carbon Lefty, only half a fork, as everyone will point out to you. It's about as trick as it gets, and everything's obviously in matte black finish, or murdered out, as the kids say. It's their slightly updated sort of like kind of do-it-all bike. It's not quite as long travel as the 160mm Jekyll, but 140mm to travel at either end. Obviously up front they use the new Lefty SuperMax fork, so it's got a carbon fibre filament wound leg, and then it runs on needle roller bearings and with a new Cartridge Damper. Out at the back you've got their kind of unique DYAD shock, DYAD, God knows what it stands for. Basically it's kind of, their spiel is that it's 2 shocks in one. So basically what it does is when you press a handlebar mounted lever, it switches the air chambers, so it goes from having a full 140mm of travel to then giving you 85mm of travel, which they call elevate mode. So basically it's just short travel for climbing. Also changes the way the bike sits, so the bike sits higher in the travel, keeps the head angle a bit steeper, so basically they just reckon it's much better for climbing when it's set like that. In fact, we spoke to Jerome Clements about this, and he was saying that he actually uses the mode, or the climbing mode, all the time when he's racing. He's actually got a grip shifter set up so he can switch it on the fly really easily. He says that anytime he needs to pedal, he'll switch into the short travel mode on his Jekyll, and off he goes. It's been working well for him so far. It's just got the tip top of everything. It's got SRAM's XX1 group set, matched to their Cannondale's own hologram cranks. Internally routed reverb dropper. They've made the carbon saddle rails too, WTB saddle. Enve bars up front, which is a good slice of cash right there. And racing ralphs, but you can't have everything, can you? The attention to detail of making sure everything's carbon fibre even goes down to the brakes they've spec'd, which are Magura's MT8s. So they've actually got an injection moulded carbon body and another woven carbon lever blade. As much plastic as you could possibly throw at this bike. If it was more plastic, it'd be Jodie Marsh.